Good evening and welcome to my podcast. My name is Bob Pace, and here we are to fight CPS and stop taking our children. It's a live podcast. You found me on Facebook, and I'm broadcasting on YouTube with the application called SteamYard. I want to welcome you all. Many welcomes to you all. I know it's a long road that some of you are facing. I too have been on the same road in the same circumstances, and I feel for all of you. There's several ways to interact with this podcast. The first way is you can call in to my phone number at 626-698-0990. And that's my office number. I will answer it. I only answer the phone between the hours of 10 in the morning to 11 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time, and from 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time to 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And that's 12 days. 7 days a week, 12, 2 shows a day. That's 12 shows. Now, I'm here not as a lawyer, but here as a person who has experienced CPS, went through a horrible time of CPS, and is dealing with the loss of a child that was taken from us parents wrong by the CPS worker. They do lie. They do horrible things with your children in foster care. They traffic, which is illegal. They steal and thieve. They're not transparent. They're not your friend. They're scoundrels. I don't know how else to explain to them. It's a money-making organization. It's $80 billion a year that they make. If you just count my 3 children that were stolen from me, from our family, it was $20,000 for each child per month, total of $60,000. If you had 100 families with 3 children, that would be this equivalent to $6 million a month, and that's wrong. $6 million a month is totally wrong. But they are just kidnapping your children and so forth. And I think that's really wrong. Now, a third way that you can do the podcast is to contact our show producer. Our show producer is, is Grace. She works behind the scenes. She will help you get on the show. She'll get the application, tell what you do as a guest. All you need to do is contact Grace on her website. Not website, I'm sorry. You're going to email her. I'm a little weak underneath the weather. This food thing is really getting hard. It's going on the 5th day now. And I need to be paid. My family's about ready to lynch me. So to be a guest on our show, you type into Grace at VincentWDavis.com. Grace at VincentWDavis.com. And she'll gladly put you on the show as a guest. Now, that's the third way. So first way, that was the second way. I should say the third way, and not do these in any set order. Besides you and Grace, you could also type in comments. And it's very important when you type in a comment that's about CPS. We're only doing about CPS. So make sure that you type in about CPS. And make sure you list your name, your city, your state or country, and be complete with your CPS question. It's hard for me to play ping pong ball back and forth. So it's really nicer if you could tell me all the children involved, how many, whether there's 2 fathers, 3 fathers, or 1 mother or 2 mother, whatever, the arrangements of your family dynamics, and what allegations that you've been alleged that you did, and where you're at on your case. Now, I did say country because I've had countries send in comments. And I've had the most popular country seems to be Liberia on the west coast of Africa. Other countries have been Australia and Canada and Mexico. Also from Europe, we've had the United Kingdom, and we've had Denmark and Sweden. And from South America, we've had Ghana, that's north of Brazil, east of Venezuela on the coast. And then in Africa, we've had Mozambique, south of Somalia, north of South Africa, across from Madagascar. We've had Rwanda, which is in Central East Africa near a big lake. And then, of course, Liberia that I mentioned before. And the gentleman from Liberia is Archie. He's into scouts, and he really wants to protect his children and so forth. So he calls in. So when you type in the comments, make sure you show your name, your city, your state, and or your country. Now, those are the three ways. I'm going to leave my phone number up here at the top. Let me get it for you. Good grief. There it is. So I've told you the three ways. One, you call in 626-698-0990. Two, you type your comments in. And three is you email Grace at vincentwdavis.com. That's Grace at vincentwdavis.com, and you can be a guest on the show. Now, I'm a loving father, been married 32 years, and I care about every one of you. I really would like to help you, and I hope I can. Now, there's some people who've already texted in, and I'm glad to see them. Some are familiar faces. One is the Chinese Flair, which he's called Anthony, and I believe he's from San Bernardino, California. Then there's Faye from Richmond, Kentucky, and I'm so glad you're there, Faye. She gave me some information, some really crazy information about how corrupt, how the Richmond CPS is being investigated by the federal government. For doing wrong, for detaining kids in detention centers and so forth. Lori, you've been on here before. I haven't seen you in a while, but I remember you. You always put in the name William Mullins, and I never know why, but glad to see you, Lori. Anthony, who's the Guyanese Chinese Flair, they lie a lot. I know they do. I just got off the phone with my former farmer worker who had to fight to get switched because I caught her lying. I have on tape, so they had no choice but to switch her. Well, thank goodness you had it for a tape there, Anthony. And Anthony's from San Bernardino, California. CPS breaking news, child protection breaking news. Hello, Grace, Bob, Mr. Davis, and Mrs. G. You guys are amazing. Thank you for the fighting. You continue to do the true pioneers. CPS breaking news. I don't remember what city or state you're in or country. I'd like to know. And let me see. We have somebody here. I think this person's new. It's called Nia McBree. So, if a legal natural mother just walked up and rescued her child, knowing that her child is being withheld by the abusive families against the child's wishes and not in the best interest by any means, that was kidnapped by a CPS investigator that had no reason or evidence to support and take ungodly victims. No police involvement in any other person as the scene of the initial happening, or even a name tag on her shirt. What would happen? Wow, that's a heavy one, McBee. I appreciate it. I don't know what city, state, or country you're from, but it'd be nice if you could share that with me. Same thing for CPS breaking news. I know we have Faye from Richmond, Kentucky. We have Cantonese Chinese Flair Anthony from San Bernardino, California. We have Lori Hiller, who's been a long time there. I still don't know where she's from, and so forth. And I want to thank all of you for calling in. It's really important that you do. Hi, Natalie, and she's from West Hollywood, California. Glad to see you here, Natalie. Got back from helping my aunts with orchard at a flower shop. Oh, that's great, Natalie. I'm glad you're able to do something. That's a lot better than sitting on the driveway. And Faye says, hi, Natalie. I don't know if all of you can read this. Okay. Nia McBean is from Saratoga, Florida. Glad to have you, Nia McBean. And again, if anybody wants to talk the phone line's open, 626-698-0990. But this morning we have some good news from Faye, who talked about the Supreme Court in the United States Supreme Court and the federal government was involved investigating Richmond, Kentucky CPS because it was their detention center for children, that there's allegations of sexual abuse and they were under a lot of duress and so forth. And they're being investigated. And also, if anytime you look on the news, you see all the time investigations taking place. But anyway, I'm here to answer questions. I have 4 rules I always share with you about how you can protect your children, how you keep your children, and how to win your case. You can beat CPS. It just takes forever. It takes forever. I've been fighting them since 2010. For 5 years, I had these false allegations come in that were wrong. Then in 2015, they tricked me, told me I had to go to my house, and that's when they took my 3 children, young children. I have 6. Those 3 young children, they said they were in imminent danger. They were in school. So my question is, how is being in school imminent danger? They weren't in imminent danger. It's just that CPS's MO, and this is in Orange County, is as soon as they hear allegation, you're guilty, and we take your children no matter if they're in extreme danger or not. And we don't believe in family unification. They'll stretch it out. They'll make a case go longer because the longer they have your child, the more money they're going to make. It's all about money. And if you want to know what a social worker is in CPS, all you have to do is look at the pink ladies. In the year 2022 in Prescott, Arizona, 8 social workers of the Department of Child Services, which is the CPS system there in Arizona, decided to buy pink t-shirts. And on the front of the pink t-shirts, they had stenciled professional child kidnappers. And on the back, they said, do you know where your children are at? These messages tell you clearly what the intent of CPS is. They are professional child traffickers. They say they're professional kidnappers. They're professional child traffickers. And they paraded these pink t-shirts among Walmart and Target, Kmart, all these department stores. And it sent an awful message to the parents. They were caught and fired. They were terminated right away. And the director was too. Left with 1 worker left in the child protection or the Department of Children's Services that Arizona had there in Prescott. But that is a synopsis of your typical social worker. Another one just a month ago on the Facebook page of her Facebook, she's a social worker from Chicago, Illinois. She decided to run an ad from 1848. You know what's special about that ad in 1848? I don't know. It said, "Black children for sale." Now, why would a social worker, who, by the way, is black, put that ad on her Facebook page in the year 2024? Why? I'm asking. Anybody can give me a reason, and especially a black social worker. What was she trying to do? You don't emphasize that selling black children is legal or important. The message out there is you do not care about us parents. You don't give a damn. You never have. And I've lost a child because of you, and her birthday came and gone yesterday. She's 22, but I haven't seen her from 12. You stole her from us. You alienated our daughter from us. You told her 12-year-old daughter to go out and divorce us parents, divorce the brothers, divorce the grandparents, divorce the cousins, divorce the aunts and the uncles. On top of that, you told her to change her name and to seal her birth certificate so she doesn't look anything with us. And then on top of that, told to go to foster care, live in a foster care home. Well, she got hurt in foster care. She's left the foster care home. She's 22 now, and she's living with her sister, which is good. I'm glad that she's out of there. And her brother still talked to her, but she is so messed up and so mixed up what CPS has done to a family. That was my family. And if I had the money, I would sue them. And that's the sad part. That's the sad part. To get my children back, I had to sell my house to hire an attorney. Let me catch up with all the people there. Here is Happy Feet. She's been on before. Hello, Bob. Wanted to stop by and say hello. And I'm glad you did, Happy Feet. Can you tell me where you're from? I forgot. I don't know if you're from Arkansas. I remember Happy Feet 7. Natalie from West Hollywood said, "Yes, I made a lady cry, and she was happy. I prepared an orchid for her gift." Oh, that's beautiful, Natalie. You're a very kind-hearted woman there and good with flowers. Good evening. Who's this I'm talking to?
Hello, sir. How are you? This is Anthony.
Hi, Anthony. I was just talking to the people out there about you. And so, what can I do for you today?
Well, I'm just calling in to give you a little bit of what happened today.
Oh, boy, I forgot. That's right. You have a case today. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, so since my kids been in foster care, they've been abused and neglect. And so they tried a dirty hand tactic today where they was going to probably take it to court. Because I had a court date on Monday and they postponed it. And all of a sudden the judge came, she was sick. So they postponed it, so now it's on the 29th. It's supposed to be where they supposed to either give your kid or the state take jurisdiction. But we have all the evidence and everything, and then a lot of the workers got up there and purged themselves. So today was the last straw with the worker. She tried to lie to my wife and say that my wife called up to the doctor and said that my daughter shouldn't get her immunization shot, which was a lie. So we did our own investigation and Kaiser said they don't want to take the fall for anyone, so they give us all the paperwork and everything. We call in. So, we've been doing a lot of investigation and so forth. So, so we end up getting our workers switched because she was, I'm not getting switched, we don't have enough workers and so forth. And, so she got mad and didn't give us our visits. So it's been a lot, but we've been recording everything, writing down everything, and so forth. So they have no choice.
Wow. Can you speak up a little bit, Anthony? Natalie says she can't hear. Go ahead. Speak up a little bit better.
Oh. Yeah, I was just saying that, you have to record everything. You have to write down everything that they tell you and they talk about because they lie. They lie. That's all they know to do is lie.
Now, did you file a 170 to remove the worker? Did you file it?
No, I didn't file anything because I have them, my lawyer, I sent the tape to my lawyer, and I guess he got what it comes because we've been trying to get rid of this worker for a long time. She keeps lying over and over again, and we have so much evidence that of her lying.
Can you still file a 170 to remove her?
I didn't file one, but I will. But I talked to the deputy director today, and I told the deputy director we no longer want to work with her, and I played her the tape. So she said she would no longer because they come and see my daughter, which never went into custody. My case is so weird because they're accusing us of future risk, which I don't even understand what that is. And they removed 4 of my children and let my daughter never went. She is 15 years old. So they say this is from an old case, but when we go back to the old case, they don't want to talk about the old case. But when it's convenient to them, it's fine for them to talk about the old case. So they attached an old case which is closed out, and they went to the school and kidnapped my children and attached it saying that they found out that my kids was at risk, but never came out to my home or anything. I lied and said it is. So when I told them I have footage of no one coming out to my home, then their story switched up. So they had the same worker that picked up my children and the same worker that investigated my children and lied under oath and said my children said they was being abused, and my children never said that. Even the investigator, the interviewer wrote down in the paper, my children never said anything. And this is a 7 and an 8-year-old.
Yes. That's a lot.
We went to trial, and they have basically they say it was a burden of proof on us to prove that our kids is not in danger from a future risk. I don't know how we can prove that. What is a future risk? I don't understand. And no one is telling us. And then the deputy director said they removed 5 of my children, Mr. Bob, and the deputy director said they only found negligence of 2 of them, but they don't have no name of the 2 of them.
So you mean how many children are we talking about total? How many children?
So first it was 6 altogether, but my daughter, she turned 18, so they dropped her case. And so she's no longer under the jurisdiction. So now I have 5, but my 15-year-old never left my premises. She's been here the whole time. They only kidnapped my 4 youngest ones.
Understood.
So they can't speak for them.
And you cannot speak to them. Wow.
Yes, she got mad today because we caught her in a lie, and so they didn't schedule no visits for us. We normally schedule visits on Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
So we have all that done to my lawyer and so forth, and so the things that they're accusing us uh, they have no proof. You know, and my children went in there and said there was never abuse, never sexually abused, never physically abused, nothing was going on. And I made videos of my children say they wanted to come home. They had my kids with a crackhead there. And so when we fought to get the kids moved from the placement, they went to court and said we are disrupting the placement. I said I don't care what you say. I'm going to speak up for my kids every chance I have to. I don't care about those people making money. So they try to lie to my wife today and say that we said that we don't want our daughter getting her 1-year immunization shot, and it's been 14 months. And we caught them lying. And the nurses and the doctors had enough of it. They said no more.
Wow.
Because we just had a nurse fired for giving them information without us signing any. That's another thing the viewers need to be aware of. They're giving your information away without your knowledge. That's a HIPAA violation.
Okay, all right.
We just had a nurse fired for violating our HIPAA rights, and she's being sued.
Understood.
I told you the last time, Mr. Bob, I'm going to fight till the day I leave this, or until all the children are free. Because being in the system is serving the kids no purpose. It's not. I witnessed it firsthand. There's no purpose. Our kids is better off being in the street, raised by thugs, before they go in the system, because they ruin them.
Yes. Now, Natalie says you can file a 388, which is have a court hearing, or a 180.
Okay.
And a 388 is good for visiting. Now, Happy Feet is from Arizona, and she says all of them are dishonest. In recent court papers, a worker and her supervisors have been unfaithful about discussion we had with them. Unbeknown to them, we recorded the entire conversation. Oh boy.
Yes, that's what we did today too. That's what we did today with the deputy director. I know. We talked to the human services, all the way to the CEO, which is Lucas Snook in this division. You know.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm gonna have a picture on Facebook where I'm gonna be giving people their numbers out. I don't care. Okay, so people can call and because they don't know that we have all the information and we've been emailing it to them, so they can't say, "Oh well, I don't know this."
Yeah.
Even one of their workers, one of the people that work in their main office, think that was wrong. What they did, no one never came out to talk to the parents or the children.
Yes.
People kidnap my school. And I'm filing a lawsuit on the school because they released my kids to somebody that's not on my form.
Well, I've told about the Pink Ladies. I've told you about the Chicago Illinois. There's a third CPS worker that Crystal was talking to me this morning about and yesterday. And she said her daughter was seen by a social worker at school who is a guy, and he did not have any adult with him. And he went with his 8-year-old daughter and told her to take her top off, and then he proceeded to take pictures. And that's a pedophile. And she went to the police and tried to file a criminal act against him, and he said, no problem. To me, a man that finds it interesting to take pictures of a topless 8-year-old is a pedophile. And he should be sued. He should also be criminal. Also, the school screwed up by having this person interviewed alone. He didn't have a nurse with him or another social worker, anything. The man's stupid. You don't go
Oh wow.
into a private room with an 8-year-old child and get naked with them. I'm not saying he did, but he told her to take her top off and take pictures. That's called a pedophile. And
Yeah.
that is your typical that's your typical social worker. I've had one social worker in all these months from Maryland. Her name is Carol. She talked for 40 minutes about how she does things in her state, Maryland. She said that she had a clinical psychology degree and that she went to additional 6 months of training by Maryland. But the people that have called in from Maryland have said just the opposite. So I don't know what to believe. Maybe she had a place that was good with getting families reunified. But she was horrified when I told her some of the bad news. I told her about the pink lady. I told her about the lady in Chicago, Illinois, that wanted to sell black children. You know, I've told people now this newest one about the social worker taking pictures of an 8-year-old at school with no other adults with them.
We don't know what they're going to who they're putting on.
Well, you know, when she pressed charges against him, the police said, oh, it's okay for him to do that. Then why was he terminated? Why was he fired?
Yeah.
That policeman is so stupid.
Well, you know, in my city here too, we got all of them. We got all of them. They came in my home. They removed things without a warrant. Yeah, they did a whole lot. You know, so and then the DA called and threatened my wife, screaming at her and yelling at her, and we got him unsafe. And I sent the same to the supervisor.
Now, why is that guy screaming at your wife? What did your wife do that's wrong?
Because we filed charges on the fake warrant. They removed my children when, and they knew it was fake. The warrant is the penal code is 15. I can't remember 15 something, but it's for a criminal. My kids are not criminal. My 7.
Was that a warrant that they used for somebody else? Was that a warrant they used for somebody else?
No, they used it. They took that warrant to school and removed my children.
I know, but was it a legitimate warrant or was it a fake warrant?
No, it's a fake warrant.
Right, that's wrong, and they can be criminally charged.
Exactly. So I filed charges. So second something about none of the we went all the way to internal affairs. They didn't want to take our report. So we ended up going to a town hall meeting, and I met the what is it? The top guy, not the deputy, not the he is the not the sergeant. He's like the top one that deal with, and that's how I end up told us to call in the next day.
Was he the civil rights coordinator? Was he the civil rights coordinator?
No, he was the. Is it the? You got sergeant, deputy.
What was his? What was his job? What was his job?
He was over over the police force. The sheriff. He was over the sheriff. He run the division for the sheriff in 29 Palms. I mean, you know, in San Bernardino County.
Right.
So we ended up talking, and there was some city councilmen and stuff, you know, at the meeting also. And so we made our complaint there also, and then so they finally made a report, and so the officer was going to go up to the thing to check the warrant out, and he all of a sudden got called out. So they knew all that they're getting caught up.
Okay.
So when we went to trial, they never brought up the warrant.
All right.
But we knew, and you know, so we file charges on the judge that's supposed to be wrote the warrant. So now we know the worker did, but she faked the judge's signature. Yeah, because
wow.
the same judge that signed the warrant they're being sued right now by another person that same judge signed a fake warrant. And she's been retired since 2021. 2021.
Okay.
So yes, we've been doing a lot of research. We've been doing a lot of investigation of our own. We have a private investigator also. I've been recording the lawyers that I work with, all their conversations. You know, I record everything. I write down everything. I don't leave no stones unturned because my job is to, they've been messing with my family since 2022. And I know for a fact I did nothing wrong. So truth and God will always be on your side. And no man can stop the truth. No man can stop what God got planned for you.
Agreed. Good quote. Good quote. Now,
so,
some people have written in. Faye Maddie from Richmond, Kentucky, said, "Smart man." Naya McBree, she says, "Please read my question above carefully, as my little girl is now a missing child, and the police department lack of involvement with the case, to which I never signed on or consented to. Additionally, I've never attended any court hearing or court crap, as I was never properly served properly as required under Florida state law. Nice reading is from Saratoga, Florida, and lack of taking any appropriate action. So timing is critical, to say the least. Thank you. P.S. The National Missing Children Hotline, Director of Child Abuse Hotline, any Oregon. That ending sounded kind of strange. Natalie from West Hollywood says, "God is truth and Jesus life and truth." Faye says, "I guess God wasn't in my corner." Faye also says, "I didn't get a new daughter back, just my son." Yes. Faye lost her daughter like I lost my daughter. It was terrible. She's trying to gain custody of her son because her son's over 18 and he's a special needs child, so he needs to be custody. So Faye is trying to get custody of her son, who's over the age of 18. So, Anthony and Natalie and Faye, I want to thank you all, as well as, let me see here, Happy Feet, and I already said Anthony there. I think I got the Happy Feet, and Lori, and Naya McBree. All of you that are participating on my podcast, I really want it to go well for you. And I know it's really hard and discouraging, Anthony. I know it's so hard.
It is. But like I said, the Lord is there. Everything will, I feel like Mr. Bob, like this, sometimes we take a lot of things for granted.
Natalie, excuse me, Niall McBreed, I am responding to you and reading your stuff so everybody can hear it. I'm talking to Anthony from San Bernardino, 29 Palms, California, about her case. My child is missing. Please answer. Well, okay, your child's missing, so you need to go to the police department and report a missing child. Now, if the police won't do it, then you have to get a hold of the FBI. If the local police will not work, then you get a hold of the FBI. If it's out of this country, you get a hold of CIA. But I am reading your comments, McBee. You had a long one there. I'll read it again. Please read my question above carefully, as my little girl is now a missing child, and the police department's lack of involvement with uh, the case, to which I never um, signed or consented to additional. I never attended any court hearing or court, as I was never properly served um, or served properly as required under Florida state law, and lack of having any appropriate action or timing in the criticals, to say the least. Thank you, PS. I have no idea who PS is. For the National Missing Children Hotline, our child and abuse hotline, any Oregon. Now, Niall McBean, I've read it twice, and I'm trying to tell you, you need to contact the FBI. The police refuse to do nothing. You need to get the Federal Bureau of Investigation ordered. And you need to do it promptly. You need to do it promptly now, McBee. We know
and contact the Senate, the governor office also. Let him be aware of what's going on.
Well, yeah, you can contact other people, but McBee was asking what she can do about her missing child. If the police are doing nothing, then you need to get a hold of the FBI.
FBI, yeah, the FBI. FBI, and if they're, like you said, out of the country, CIA, and so forth. Because now the FBI will put pressure on the police to start doing the investigation.
Agreed. Faye says,
so that's where we at.
Faye says to contact the FBI Division of Child Trafficking. You want to speak to child trafficking in the FBI. Nyla McBee. It's the child trafficking of the FBI. If the child is missing, and child from foster care too, is that's what she says, her child's missing. Her child's missing. Okay, I'm lost now. This is my third time, Nyla McBean. You haven't read it, or you would have not responded with what I've already said. I'm totally confused. What is it I'm not reading? I've read your linky thing twice. Natalie, thank you for telling me the FBI in Washington, California is at Wilshire and Westwood. But we're talking about Nal McBean from Florida, and she's not in California. Naya McBean, could you call in? I'm pretty sure Anthony would get off if you want to talk about your case, Naya McBean. And Faye says FBI recovers 68% of former or current foster kids from trafficking. I now have posted what you want me that I read twice. I've now posted what you want me to read twice. Now, some reason I'm looking at that and I don't see it. I don't know where that is, just posted up there. I've called the FBI 4 times in every organization nationally. Well, you might have to call 6 times or 8 times. I just know you have to be consistent and call time after time after time again. Now, I'm posting this from what you typed into comments. I'm posted it on the web page. There's another comment that you had posted that I never got. And I'm looking at all the comments. This is the first one that you posted. That's the first one you posted. Would you like to call in Niles McBeed and talk on the phone, and maybe we can help you further? It may take you 100 times to call the FBI. Okay, I'm not doubting you haven't called the FBI. What you're going to have to do is that if the FBI is not answering, then call the CIA. Or call your congressman or congresswoman that you have a missing child. Or call the governor of Florida. Call the governor of Florida. And Nabeen, you can also call the FBI in other states. The FBI is a federal organization, so you can call their offices in other states. Faye says she has to call the trafficking department of the FBI. Naya, have you called the trafficking department of the FBI? Have you called the trafficking department of the FBI? Have you called them, Naya? Naya McBean, have you called the traffic department of the FBI? Faye, she says, I did. And the government's grandchildren attended my child's private school here. Okay. You may have to call other states' FBI. Look up all the FBI offices and then look for the trafficking department. And you may have to call other states besides Florida. You might have to call Alabama or North Carolina, South Carolina. You might have to call Mississippi or some of those other states for the FBI. Natalie says you can call the FBI at Wilshire Street in Los Angeles, California. I'm not doubting you, McBee, but I strongly call, if you have to, every state FBI office that you have a missing child in the trafficking division. Right there, Faye has typed in a link that says www.fbi.gov. File repository, human traffic. That's the email that the website you should go to, Nyla McBee. And I know with everything in life, you have to call sometimes more than 5 times, 10 times, 100 times, 600 times. I could try a three-way call. What do you want to do a three-way call with? I can put them on hold and then connect everybody, I think. Do you want to have Faye on there? I've yet to do a three-way, but I could possibly do a three-way with my office number. I think if you call in at 626-698-0990, I can put you on hold. And who do you want the third person to be? Who's the third person you want to be, Nyla McBee? Is it with Faye? Do you want me and Faye and you? The Department of Child, the Department of OJ has the Human Traffic Division too. Okay, if you don't want to call, maybe you could write them. Or maybe you can go on the website and email them. Here, I'm going to type in the Google the internet and see what I come up with. Now, have you tried 1-800 the THE and lost LOST? That's 1-800-843-5678. That's the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. It's called 1-800 the Lost. 1-800-843-5678. Maybe you could call them. You could go to the website of the FBI, the website there. The Department of Justice, the U.S. Department of Justice, is another source. All you do is call my number, 626-698-0990. If I had your number, I'd call you, Naya. Okay. Faye says she's called them too. Okay. All right. Well, I think that if you go to the FBI website and look what they have, you could probably type them an email, or they might have somebody that could chat with you, and try it that way. Try it that way through texting and commenting through the FBI's website. The FBI website is www.fbi.gov with a caret forward services, CERVICS. Oh, I had a bad kink. Oh, God, that was hurting. Oh, that was hard. Okay. My phone will call out now. I've already told you I've called every person, organization, and the FBI and the correct divisions. Okay, I will try to contact you with your number. Okay, call. It's ringing here, Nia McBee. It's Bob Pace calling you. I'm ringing you, Nia McBee. I'm ringing you. Hello, is this Nia McBee?
Yeah, my name is Leslie, actually. Thank you for calling.
No problem, Leslie. Now, who did you want to have a three-way with?
It'll be your choice. I have called everyone for 2 years now, and I haven't gotten anywhere. Nowhere.
Okay, I can try to call the FBI. And
I just wanted it to be on recording on something because I have done this. We can hear me.
FBI.
I don't know if this is getting through to you. I'm sorry. I'm having phone complications, which is unusual.
That's not a problem. I hear you. I hear you, and then I hear another voice in the background.
Yes, we're going to give you a second number just in case this phone goes dead because it's probably going to now.
Why would the phone go dead?
It's monitored constantly. We're harassed, stalked. It's constant. I try and make a report. I was told to keep my mouth shut by the sheriff's department.
Now, that's of Florida Sheriff Department.
Sarasota County Sheriff's Department.
Is that anywhere near Gainesville?
No.
Gainesville, the sheriff there just murdered a black man on May 3rd that was 23 years old. He was an airman. He was shot 5 times in the chest, and then they terminated the sheriff.
That's about what I'm talking about here with my case. My father is now dead. My daughter is missing. My son is being abused and was in a foster home. And I have the reports on it, but you won't find it on our court website here. The case doesn't exist.
Really?
Yes, really. You can go on ClerkNet 3.0, 3.0 in fact, research my name, or just type in my name. It's spelled Lesley, and McGowan is McGowan.
Well, I just looked at my clock now, and I'm sorry to tell you that I've gone over an hour. I'm actually 8 minutes past 8. And I can continue this tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock tomorrow night, if you could call.
If I'm alive by then.
Well, I understand that. If it's that bad, I would I would leave the state. I mean, if it's not safe to live in Florida, then I'd leave the state.
I would love for somebody to help me out of here, as my car is now disabled because I'm being pulled over every day, and now I'm facing double felony drug charges because they. Why not get on
a bus? Do you have a next of kin in another state?
I certainly don't, as family members are now dead.
Okay, all right. I'm trying to think of other solutions.
Due to a lot of the results of what has happened here.
Have you tried to go to the FBI office itself and walk in instead of calling?
Correct. Yes, I was on my way there about 2 weeks ago, and that's when my car became disabled. So we got a big old case going on here. Also, a major case where they ripped my baby out of my arms after I gave birth 2 days after in the hospital when I said I didn't want any visitors. I was warned on what was going to happen, and that's exactly what they did anyway. They let DCF, an employee, walk right in. I was yelling and screaming and saying, "Get her out!" And they ripped that child out of my arms. And
that's medical trafficking. They're doing that illegally. That's called medical trafficking.
Yes, that's true.
Did you ask the hospital staff to excuse them from your birthing room?
Oh yes, you have been. I was told that they are fired immediately. We said to call the police. Somebody called the police in here. They tackled the father to the ground. He wasn't doing anything. But I said, take our baby and walk out of this hospital. We're legally allowed to. It's our civil right. And they tackled him to the ground, and they thought they broke the baby's neck. This is I'm telling you exactly what's happened. My attorney will not get the video or the surveillance from the hospital. And both of my children are gone. And my father is dead as a result. My life is a mess. I have my partner who is now in the county jail and being beaten to a pulp daily on false charges by deputies if I talk anymore. So this is about my last shot at living, I would say. I do have one person with me, and he's about all I have left.
Does that person that's with you have a car?
No. We have been basically helped to this house.
Do you have money for getting on a bus that could take you away from the area to another place?
Yes, I do. I just would think it would... Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Great.
Let me do this. I need to end my show here. Stay on the line. I'll be right back with you. All right, for all you listeners out there, I've gone over, and I apologize for going over. I want to thank Faye from Richmond, Kentucky, who've been in here. I want to thank Naya McBee, who is called in on the phone, who has a horrible, horrible situation, and she's from Florida. And I want to thank them. I want to thank Natalia from West Hollywood for all your advices and so forth. And then I want to thank, let me see who else we've had here. We had Anthony on here. I want to thank Anthony from San Bernardino County. I want to thank Happy Feet 7 from Arizona. And don't give up. And God bless you all. So I'm signing off on the show.